Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. Sorry for the late start. A little rough out of the gate this morning. It does happen. It does happen. A little, we'll call it a technical issue. Yeah, that's it. That's what happened. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Just zap the QR code top right-hand side of the screen. If you have questions, if you want to know what we do, it takes you to our website. We help people become traders, right? This is a great opportunity in markets. It can be crypto, it could be Forex, it could be stocks, it could be anything. But markets are a great opportunity for you to develop a new income. Now, it's not something where it just magically works and you click buttons at home and there's nothing to it. There is a fair amount of learning to do with trading. There are many kinds of trading. However, I am a technical trader and I show people how I build my trading methodologies. And if done so, it becomes simple in a way, not easy, but simple to extract money from the markets. In fact, one of the biggest challenges is going to be psychological as opposed to technical once you have taken the time to develop your method. That said, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. We're looking at Bitcoin right here, and I mapped out some liquidities just before we started, right? And I say liquidity, these yellow boxes right here are liquidations. And I get this particular data over on the Kingfisher.io. You got these green pop-up areas right there. That's where a lot of these trades would go ahead and liquidate on, in this case, Binance. There's a little bit above price that I did not map out. So let's map that out now at about 67,200 going up to 68,400. So from about here to 68,400, we said. I think that's right. That makes sense. That's where some prior price action is. Let's code that yellow so we know it's a liquidation right there. And it looks like price started to develop a range. I'm not that confident in trading this range, and this range actually might be a little bit better mapped out like this. I need more data before I would trade that range and have it really well established, although you probably could trade it. But what I think is going to happen right now, given that the liquidation is so close to price, I think price may go ahead and just dip down into this area and grab liquidity here down at say 65,800-ish. That's a probability. It could also continue to just bounce around in this area. And I think that given price is developing a range right here, not a terrible play would be to possibly go long up in this area. But I'm not going to make that call until the time comes, right? And also this consolidation back here is where price might grab liquidity as well. And that's not exactly showing on the Kingfisher because that's a different type of liquidity, right? These are order blocks. So these are people who are trading. And while the data is on there, some of it is, some of it's not. It is what it is. So I do think, though, we're going to see price bounce down to here. Or if it doesn't, for whatever reason, make its way down here, which it really should, it's right there next to price. The algos like it. But if it did, or if it didn't, price probably will come back up and grab liquidity up in this area afterwards, right? Afterwards, or even it might not wait for that. It might simply just kind of bounce up and grab that. So it's going to want to grab liquidity close to price, and it's going to want to grab liquidity in whatever price the charts are indicating price will go next, in whatever direction price will go next. And according to these charts right now, it looks like price is going to continue downward. And in fact, price might grab, like I said earlier, some liquidity down in these order blocks right there. So that's just what Bitcoin looks like it's going to do right now. So a lot of, consolidation, bouncy. In the meantime, the high time frame algos, let's take a sneak peek at that so you can have an idea of what price might do once it's done playing around. I know the weekly is relatively bullish. Obviously, it was a little more bullish going past last week or two as price has been really going up nicely on Bitcoin. But the monthly is also pretty bullish. It was kind of taking a break there going back to March. And it looks like the monthly might be coming to a time when it might flip around. But according to this, that might take another month or two. It's, this is a very slow moving time frame. So it could happen this week, it could happen in September. But either way, we're starting to get to that point where price could easily flip around and head up and break this months-long consolidation that you see on the screen, retest that all-time high, and even break it. So that's where we kind of are in the crypto market more or less right now. We got a comment in the YouTube section. Siege D, what's up, Algo Cowboy? Stop by to like the video. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Siege. We'll see you over on Discord. Catch up to you. Thanks for coming over. And by the way, Siege, let all of Glenn's people know to look in the business and finance tab. Aside from Algo Factory, Glenn's people have priority for asking questions on here. So, go ahead and take a look at that. Let people know, those who want to understand how to trade. We will help people get going in that direction. Let's take a look at Ethereum. I want to say, we'll take a look at Solana first. We'll take a look at Ethereum because I hold a fair amount of Solana and I do like the chart right now. So Solana has broken this downward sloping line. So let me go to a lower time frame resolution. Let's take a look at the daily and we'll see how Solana is behaving. There was a bearish formation that was happening and it was the triangle. And if you look here, the triangle that it was forming, and it appears to no longer be forming. I'm pretty comfortable saying that this has been invalidated, right? But I'm going to draw the triangle anyway, so we could all just learn a little bit about what I was thinking might happen. So price had this trend line up here, this purple line I'm drawing, and basically what was happening was price was rejecting lower and lower, creating this triangular shape, right? And that usually means as long as that continues to happen, the price is going to break downwards. Now, it stopped. It didn't happen here, and I did predict days in advance, and I did it publicly on the videos. You could just go back and look at it, like all the videos going back to last week or two, saying that price will probably break above here and go above 180. And surely it did. Now, what's happening now is price is retracing, which is to be expected. Bitcoin's going down a little bit. Solana had a big move up, and now it's headed down a little bit. And I believe Solana was outperforming Bitcoin for that time. So we might see Solana just retest some of these liquidity areas up here. Now, if Solana does break below this purple line, we do have a little bit of a concern. It could mean that this triangular formation is back in play because this might have been just a deviation from that. And that really, I think, is going to depend on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin needs to remain bullish, and it needs to appear as if it is going to break above that multi-month consolidation. Okay, so that's just how it is. At least that's how I see it. And, you can look back through the history. How I see things is pretty often how they go. Not always. Nobody's perfect, but that's how that looks to me. And before we go on to the next, before we leave the public live lab, see how long this has been going here. Okay, yeah, we got a couple minutes left. Let's look at Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is actually looking a little bit more bullish, and what is formed on here is going to be a head and shoulders, really. Head and shoulders bottom. So it's a little slanted. It's not really ideal, but it is pretty bullish because the head is pretty deep down. And we can see the price may want to go ahead and break out here. Oops, why did I do that? Okay, so we draw our head and shoulders, and we can measure how high price might go. Now, mind you, I believe the Ethereum ETF launches today, so there's a lot of activity. There's a lot of energy around the Ethereum price. No, that's not. I'm not doing this right. Sorry, folks. Give me a second. Okay, we have this neckline here. This will do right here. Not the cleanest head and shoulders I've ever seen, but here it is nonetheless. I mean, really, technically, it's right here, and it keeps breaking out, right? So if I zoom in, it's a very dirty little head and shoulders, but it continues to kind of test and break out. If I wanted to draw it just a little bit cleaner, I could really draw it like this. And but it had this one wick down that kind of throws everything off. Reasonably, I could draw it like this and just know that that wick might have been a bit of a fluke. Either way, it all is going to operate the same. It's all going to measure the same when it comes to targets. And the targets I would look at for such a thing would be, let's see here, 3720 and about 4,000, just below that, 3950. So those would be the targets if, in fact, this does break out. And it really does seem to be doing well compared to Bitcoin right now. If I were to do Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and go to a lower time frame, I would be willing to bet that it's outperforming Bitcoin just over the last day or so. And I can almost guarantee that has to do with the launch of the ETF. It does seem though that we're not seeing a whole lot of outperformance. I mean, it's only been going on since since Monday at 6 p.m., 8 p.m. EST. So just I think this little move up going on over the last what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 16 hours. That has had to do with the ETF launch, right? And it might be a sell the news event. That's always kind of the what do you call it? Always kind of the thing in the back of my mind. We'll sell the news event. We got Cool Cat talking about it on the chat there. So I would be careful. Right now it's bullish though. It's everything on the candles is bullish, right? You got these price trying to move down and getting pushed back up on these candles right now, right? So we'll see how this goes, but it's nice to see Ethereum moving up against Bitcoin. And as far as that is concerned, I think we're good for the live lab here. So don't forget, if you're in either Algo Factory or if you're over at Glenn's Discord, Algo Factory has all of the priorities. So if we have an Algo Factory member ask questions in the YouTube, I will answer their question. I will do a chat for them first. And then if you're in Glenn's YouTube, I will go ahead and prioritize them over everybody else except for Algo Factory. But I will do custom charting. If you're watching this and you're like, hey, I want to know what the SP 500 is doing, or what do you think gold's going to do? Like, I'm happy to do those charts on here. We do this for about 10 minutes, Monday through Friday. So please come back and join us. And don't forget, over Algo Factory, we help people become traders. Zap the QR code, come to our website, algofactory.tech. Don't forget, trade your job, upgrade your life, and we'll see you on the next one.
Join us or die.